Hello everyone, it's David from Automotive Press. As you know, I have been talking about the next generation Toyota 4Runner, and that is a really exciting news, but it appears to be delayed again and again, and we were wondering what is going on. And we finally have a potential answer for the delaying of the Toyota 4Runner. What is that? Land Cruiser. Welcome back. Now, before we talk about this potential speculation that Toyota Land Cruiser might come back and impacting the next generation Toyota 4Runner, don't forget that Toyota also officially announced that they're going to introduce the Grand Highlander next year. In fact, Toyota said that they will reveal something in early February, likely just before the Chicago Auto Show, and I should be there to see that reveal, so I'm quite excited about that. But the bigger news is this interview that Motor Trend did with an executive from Toyota USA who said that Toyota Land Cruiser should be coming back or likely coming back to North America, but it's likely to happen sometime into the future and not to come right away. So the big question is, when is Land Cruiser coming back, and exactly what kind of Land Cruiser are we getting back here in North America, US or Canada? And does that mean that Toyota 4Runner will be either canceled or delayed, or what's the story here? So let me give you my opinion on what's happening, and keep in mind that this is not anything official from Toyota. It's my professional opinion on what might happen in 2023 calendar year. So first, let's discuss this Land Cruiser speculation. Does it make sense that the Land Cruiser will come back to either USA or Canada or both? Well, it seems odd because Land Cruiser was redesigned just a couple of years ago, and it's now called the Land Cruiser 300 series. It's sold all over the world except for North America, and that was primarily because the previous Land Cruiser did not sell well, just a few thousand units per year, and it obviously didn't make any marketing sense to keep the Land Cruiser for North American market when you can buy the Lexus LX600 for a few $1,000s more because the pricing was too close. So why would they bring the Land Cruiser back to North America if it never sold well before anyway? Well, obviously the dealers in the US have been asking for this, and they really did not like the cancellation of it. So that's probably one reason. But I think, from my personal and professional opinion, is that the Land Cruiser 300 series is not the one that's coming back to North America. I actually think the one that we're going to get here in the next year or two is the Land Cruiser Prado, which is sold in Japan and Middle East and elsewhere in the world, and not the large Land Cruiser 300 series. Obviously, I could be totally wrong here, but hear me out. My reasoning for that is that the Land Cruiser 300 series have only been redesigned a couple of years ago, and therefore they wouldn't redesign again to bring it to North America. But rumors have it that this Land Cruiser version that's coming to North America has a Land Rover Defender look, tough, rugged, off-road capable design, and those rumors do not seem to align with the current design of the Land Cruiser 300 series, because I wouldn't say that model looks rugged and tough and off-roadable and looking more like a Defender from Land Rover. So that means that this Land Rover that we are getting sometime in the next year or two might be a different model from the Land Cruiser 300 series. And the only other model that has a Land Cruiser name is Land Cruiser Prado, which once again is sold in many, many countries around the world, but not in North America. And that will allow Toyota to price it also lower than where the Land Cruiser was before, somewhere between the prices of the Lexus LX600 and Toyota Sequoia, because likely this is going to be the flagship of the Toyota SUV lineup. So in terms of pricing, something like Land Cruiser Prado makes sense. In terms of sizing, it also makes sense because it's not as big as Land Cruiser 300, and it will fit right into the category just above the 4Runner, and possibly either just above or below the Toyota Sequoia in terms of pricing. Now that is purely my speculation at this point, and it's very possible that Toyota is talking about the 300 series of the Land Cruiser and not the Prado. What do you guys think? Would it be the Land Cruiser 300 that will come back? Or would it be the new Land Cruiser Prado, which is supposed to get redesigned in 2023 calendar year, according to Japanese media? And so the timing also makes sense because the Land Cruiser 300 series is not due for facelift for at least 3 or 4 more years, but usually they update it about 6th or 7th year into its production. And so it wouldn't make any sense for them to redesign any part of the 300 series Land Cruiser for North American introduction. Now the only conflicting fact here is that there is something similar to Land Cruiser Prado already for sale here in North America, and that is our Lexus GX. The two share the basic architecture, similar body lines, although the powertrain is different. So if Toyota brings the Land Cruiser Prado to North America in a new version or new format, then it will overlap very closely with the new Lexus GX, which is also supposed to come out sometime end of next year or perhaps into early 2024. And so that is the only conflicting thing that I'm struggling with, is that Toyota will have so many models similar to each other in terms of price range and in terms of segmentation. Nevertheless, I still do believe that the Land Cruiser Prado makes more sense to the North American market rather than bringing the large Land Cruiser 300 series, which is going to make it very expensive to begin with. And that brings up another question, which is when would Toyota bring this Land Cruiser to North America? Well, the Toyota executive keeps saying that it's some distance away and it's too far away to discuss this, but there has been a lot of rumors from Japanese media and other rumors that it might happen in 2023 calendar year as a 2024 model year. So my best guess is that this new Land Cruiser, whether it's the Prado or the 300 series, will debut sometime end of 2023 model year, because that will be about 4 to 5 months after introduction in the Japan market for the new Land Cruiser Prado. And if that is true, it's very possible that about 1 year from today, we will have the resurrection of the Land Cruiser name in North America. I'm also hearing rumors that it will be introduced to both the US and Canada, and that will be a huge deal for Canadian market because we haven't had the Land Cruiser for many, many years, unlike the US, which only lost it a couple of years ago. So let me begin to summarize what my thinking is. I think the Land Cruiser is coming back to North America for sure, and I think that return of the Land Cruiser will be the Land Cruiser Prado versus the Land Cruiser 300 series, and my best guess is that it will happen end of 2023 calendar year as a 2024 model year, and that means it makes sense that Toyota might have pushed the 4Runner out because they wouldn't want to have both the 4Runner and the Land Cruiser coming out at the same time. That way they can space apart the introduction with the Land Cruiser Prado or Land Cruiser 300 series first, and then maybe a year later for the 4Runner, and that way there'll be lots of excitement about Toyota body-on-the-frame SUV for next couple of years. That is my best guess in terms of timing of the Land Cruiser versus 4Runner, and I think that kind of falls in alignment with all of the rumors that seems to be going around that the 4Runner keeps getting pushed out because it doesn't need as much attention right now, mainly because the current model is selling well and people really like the V6 engine powered, naturally aspirated 4Runner. Finally, what will be the engine that's going to power this Land Cruiser model for North America? Well, obviously Toyota wouldn't confirm anything to do with its future models, but I'm almost 100% sure that it will be the 3.4-liter twin-turbo V6 that is currently used in a number of Toyota models, including the Land Cruiser 300 series, but also used in Tundra as well as the Sequoia. And in order to differentiate that from the Lexus LX600 3.4-liter twin-turbo V6, it could be a slightly detuned version of it because in the base entry-level Tundra, they already have a detuned lower horsepower version of the 3.4-liter twin-turbo V6. So that engine should go into new Land Cruiser model for North America, and that will allow Toyota to space apart neatly all of the power and the torque in the right order, because obviously most expensive car should have the most amount of power and torque. And if indeed this new Land Cruiser gets powered by 3.4-liter twin-turbo V6, with or without hybrid, then when the new 4Runner eventually comes out, perhaps in end of 2024 or even beginning of 2025, with a 2.4-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, Toyota can at least say, hey, we do have a V6 version of a rugged body-on-the-frame SUV in the form of Land Cruiser. So we are very sorry that the Toyota 4Runner is going to get the 4-cylinder turbocharged engine. Well, we're not going to be happy either way. Or at least that storyline or the theory kind of makes sense, because for those people who still want the V6, not happy with a turbocharged 4-cylinder engine in a 6th gen 4Runner, can buy this new Land Cruiser, whether it's going to be called Land Cruiser or Land Cruiser Prado, who knows. Does this story make sense to you? What do you guys think? I know that a number of you guys have been commenting on my previous videos that you've also heard rumors about the Land Cruiser coming back. So let me know in the comments below what you're hearing, what kind of stuff that you think might happen, because this is a really exciting news and perhaps one of the biggest news for 2023 calendar year with the return of the Land Cruiser model. By the way, with this fresh speculation about the Land Cruiser, I'm just beginning to work on the potential rendering of what this might look like, because I'm still convinced it is not the Land Cruiser 300 series, but the Land Cruiser Prado instead. But no one has seen the next generation Land Cruiser Prado. So I have to work on that for a little while, so give me a little bit of time for that. I'm also working on the rendering for the 2024 Grand Highlander, which we will see pretty soon, just a few months away in Chicago. So both are really exciting news, and even though this is not a Toyota 4Runner news, anything to do with Toyota SUV is exciting for most of us who love Toyota trucks and Toyota SUV. So there's a lot more story on this coming your way, and the rendering is also coming your way. So please stay tuned to my channel. If you can give me a thumbs up, make some comments, and subscribe, that would be truly appreciated. But until next video, I'm signing off for now. Thank you so much.